But if it is your first tarantula, I do have a little bit of a warning. First of all, sorry if I'm a little stuffy. I'm sick. I've had a bad cold, but I have really good news for you guys today. We have a new plushie joining the family and we're gonna do a plushie reveal. But yeah, we have the crew back here, all of them, all 11 of them. And so this will be our 12th limited edition plushie. We got some spinnerets, orange, fluffy, urticating hairs, a bow. Oh my God, so cute. Okay, here she is. Look at her fangs. These are so cool. This is Gumdrop, my green bottle blue tarantula. Of course, we have the detachable worm. We added the spinnerets for her because green bottle blue are crazy webbers. Her hair's a little messy, but she has these nice long orange urticating hairs that are floating right now. I don't know if you can see that. Her eye pattern, everything is accurate. Oh my God, I just, look at those fangs. I really wanted like some pleathery fangs for her because like we did fangs for Nibbles and I love these fangs. They're really cute and they're soft. This kind of gives a little bit more of a true spider vibe. So I had them work on it a little, and so we got the tarantula vibe, plus it's like pleathery too, so. And then of course we had to add the bow to her because obviously. But yeah, if you want to grab one of these, hurry. If you're watching this video like a month from now, they're gone and they won't be made again. These are limited edition made to order plushies. So if you really like green bottle blue and you want to own one of these plushies, hurry. I will link it down below. You can also go to my website, tarantulakat.com, and there's like a little plushies spot you can click, and that should bring up all my past and my current plushie if I currently have one going on. I'm really, really happy with how this one came out. I hope you guys love her. But yeah, so now that we've talked about the plushie Gumdrop, let's talk about the real spider who inspired my plushie, which is Gumdrop, my green bottle blue.
Is a very small and pretty quick spider. This is a green bottle blue. I'm gonna insert the scientific name because I'm not even gonna try saying it. This is Gumdrop though. It is my green bottle blue, and yeah, it has grown quite considerably since purchased. So let's get started. Okay, to get started, this is my green bottle blues enclosure. Check out her pattern. It is very beautiful, and that is something that is really unique about this species.
Oh! So I've actually had Gumdrop since I started my YouTube channel, since before I started my YouTube channel. I actually got her as a sling from an expo, and I've grown her out over the past like 8 or 9 years. So I have a lot of experience with green bottle blue, and I can confidently give you guys a little care guide and tell you some pros, but also some cons to the species, because I see them get recommended a lot as a beginner tarantula. And don't get me wrong, they can definitely make an amazing beginner tarantula. Sometimes I even recommend them depending on what somebody is looking for. I don't know if I'd say they're like the perfect beginner tarantula. I'll tell you the problem I have with that later. As for care, they are super easy to care for. They are definitely not delicate. This is one of those species that can withstand some beginner errors, I guess you could say. They are a very dry species. So even though I do provide mine with a water dish, I don't really mist her. I don't think I've ever misted her unless her water dish was completely dry and I was like kind of just quickly going through the rows, you know, but I typically don't mist her at all. Now, typically they are very good eaters, so let's give this a try. Oh my goodness. Oh, look how pretty she is. So rarely will they refuse food, like some other beginner species we recommend, like Aphonopelma chalcodes, notorious for not eating. Grammostola rosea. They make a lot of new keepers worried because they will go on hunger strikes. You don't really have to worry about that too much with these guys. Another pro about the species is pretty much the obvious here. They web like crazy. So you will hear the term semi-arboreal with some tarantula species, and this would be one of those species. They live not up in the trees, but not down on the dirt or in the dirt either. They kind of live at the base of like bushes and stuff in Venezuela. They web up a lot under the bushes. They decorate their enclosures for Halloween year round. It makes them really desired because they actually do something. A lot of token beginner tarantulas, and just like most tarantulas in general, kind of just sit there. They find their comfortable spot or they dig a hole and they just sit there. And these guys do spend a lot of time just sitting there, but they also decorate and web up a lot. So they're like a little bit more active, especially when you first put them in their new enclosure and they're like really like decorating it for the first time. Now, another obvious reason why they are a great beginner species is because they're super colorful. I mean, they're green with blue legs and a bright orange abdomen. If somebody is wanting a really striking, colorful spider, this is it. I mean, clearly this is it. Another advantage for this species is that it's established in the hobby. I mean, we've been keeping and breeding these guys for a long time. So we kind of know what we're doing. It's not a newer species to the hobby. It's not something that's actively still relying on wild caught. And if you're seeking the species out, chances are you're not going to have any kind of issue sourcing a captive bred sling or even adult. And they're not going to break the bank either. Like, even in the United States that has like notoriously high prices for their spiders compared to like Europe, they're still going to be on the lower end because again, they're commonly bred in captivity. And also this makes the care information that like we're giving out pretty accurate because so many people have kept them successfully in the ways that we standardly keep them. And the way that we standardly keep them is not much different than other tarantulas. Now, we do want to set them up a little bit more specific, meaning we want to give them a little bit more substrate than we'd give an arboreal, but we also want to give them a little bit more height than we would give a terrestrial. So I keep my adult female green bottle blue in this cube. She's gone crazy with the webbing. I also just rehoused the green bottle blue up at the reptile room. She's been decorating that. So you can definitely go bigger. The more space you give them, the more they're gonna web up, which is great. Like, it looks awesome. They're going to need a lot of anchor points. So spider wood is great. And another pro is that as they molt and grow, they're gonna go through so many different colorations and they're all cool. Like, there's not a single coloration that's bad. They also grow pretty steady. So you're gonna have an adult in probably like, I would say like 3-4 years, you'll have like close to an adult. But because they do grow pretty steadily, they don't live as long as like a rose hair or a chalcodes. They're gonna live like half the age of a mature female. So instead of like 30 years, probably more like 15 years tops. Chances are, if you're collecting tarantulas, this is a must-have. They are. This species is a must-have. But if it is your first tarantula, I do have a little bit of a warning because again, these can make great beginner tarantulas. However, there are a couple things you need to be aware of. Green bottle blue are very skittish. They're just very skittish spiders. They're not something that I would ever recommend handling. You don't want to be handling your spider and have them fall, bolt, and hit the floor. That could be absolutely deadly for your spider. Another thing you need to be aware of is that they kick hairs. They're very notorious for kicking urticating hairs. I remember when Gumdrop was little, just taking the lid off. She would kick her hair every time. As a sling, she kicked her hair all the time. As an adult, she surprisingly kicks it a little bit less. So again, I'm not saying this to scare anyone away from keeping a green bottle blue. In fact, I think the opposite should happen. I think you should get a green bottle blue, especially if you want one as your first tarantula. I just think you need to be aware of these things because often when we recommend a beginner tarantula, we recommend them based off things like handleability or the reluctance to kick urticating hairs or species that typically don't move as fast or aren't commonly as flighty. pricey. I'd be concerned about a beginner getting a green bottle blue and thinking you can pick it up and handle it often and not worry about these things. So I just wanted to set the record straight. They're great beginner tarantulas. As long as you're aware of these things and you're okay with it, you just can't go wrong with the species. And if you're looking to purchase like not just the plushie, but an actual green bottle blue, you can check out places like the Spider Shop. Use my affiliate code KAT10 and save 10%. Most vendors carry them though. Or breeder of your choosing probably has some in stock right now. But if you want one that you can cuddle, you can get one of these. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like this video if you did, subscribe if you're not, and you want to be. Don't forget I have an Instagram that I use probably way too much. It's @Tarantula.Kat. You can go follow me there. I also have a website, tarantulakat.com. Go check it out. I will see you guys soon. Let's get into the members picks.